Ever sprinkle some turmeric in a dish and think, could this be warding off Alzheimer's?
Me neither.
Uh,
But that's the surprising world we're diving into today, right?
right.
You're curious about curcumin,
Yes.
active compound in turmeric,
Yeah.
and its potential for tackling neurodegenerative diseases. We've got a stack of research right here, so let's unpack this.
Yeah, it's quite a leap.
Hmm.
Going from, a common spice to a potential weapon against brain diseases.
Right?
What has scientists buzzing is this idea of curcumin's neuroprotective potential.
Okay.
Basically, its ability to shield our brains from damage.
So not a cure-all then, but a promising avenue.
Exactly. And to understand both the excitement and the challenges,
Yeah.
we need to dig into the research.
Okay.
This review by Genchi
Genau.
from Foods earlier this year
This year, okay.
is a perfect starting point. It lays out why curcumin has scientists so hopeful when it comes to diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Okay. Now, this review also mentions something called prion diseases, which I'll admit I had to look up.
Right?
Pretty rare,
Yeah,
but also pretty terrifying stuff.
they are. Prion diseases, they're like a biological domino effect gone wrong.
Okay.
Imagine misfolded proteins, and they're clumping together in the brain, causing this chain reaction of damage. It's this aspect of neurodegenerative diseases that makes them so challenging to treat.
And this is where curcumin might step in. What is it about this compound that has researchers so intrigued?
So curcumin seems to be a triple threat,
Okay.
acting as an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant,
Gotcha.
potentially an anti-amyloid agent. So it's tackling these harmful processes that contribute to brain cell damage.
Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. What are amyloid plaques, and why are they such a big deal in something like Alzheimer's?
So imagine amyloid plaques, like sticky clumps
Huh.
that build up between brain cells. And they disrupt communication and eventually lead to cell death.
Wow.
It's one of the hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease.
Mhm.
And curcumin might be able to interfere with the formation of these plaques,
Okay.
or even help to clear them out.
So it's not just masking symptoms, it's potentially going after the root cause of these diseases.
Precisely. That's what makes it so promising.
Okay.
But there's a catch.
There's always a catch.
Our bodies aren't great at absorbing curcumin.
Oh, no.
It's what scientists call low bioavailability.
So even if curcumin has the potential to help, our bodies might not even be absorbing enough to make a difference.
Exactly. Think of it like this. Throwing a life preserver to someone who's drowning,
Okay.
but the life preserver dissolves before it reaches them.
Oh, that's a sad image, but I get it.
That's the challenge with curcumin.
Right.
And it's why researchers are exploring new ways to deliver it more effectively, to enhance that delivery. That's where nanotechnology comes in.
Okay, nanoparticles. I've heard that term thrown around a lot these days.
Tiny particles, but they could be a game changer for drug delivery.
Okay.
Imagine encapsulating curcumin in nanoparticles,
Okay.
almost like a protective bubble,
Yeah.
to help it reach the brain directly and in higher concentrations.
So it's not just about curcumin itself, it's about finding smarter ways to get it where it needs to go.
Exactly. And if we can crack that code, it opens a world of possibilities for treating complex diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
This is already so much more than me just sprinkling turmeric on my food. Now, I'm curious, this Genshi review mentioned that curcumin might also be helpful in those prion diseases that we talked about earlier. What's the connection there?
It's still early days in terms of the research,
Okay.
but there are some promising findings.
Okay.
Some studies suggest that curcumin might interfere with the ability of those misfolded prion proteins to clump together, to form those destructive aggregates.
So it's like curcumin could potentially disrupt that domino effect we talked about, stopping those misfolded proteins from wreaking havoc in the brain.
That's the idea. But it's crucial to remember this is cutting-edge research, and there's still a lot we don't know. We need more studies to confirm these findings and to understand the long-term effects.
Makes sense. Cautious optimism seems to be the theme here.
Absolutely. It's thrilling to see the potential of curcumin, but we need to be grounded in scientific rigor. And that's what makes these deep dives so important.
Absolutely. Now, I'm curious about something. If curcumin has these potential benefits because of its anti-inflammatory, antioxidant properties, are there other compounds that might work in a similar way? Could they even work together with curcumin to boost its effectiveness?
You're thinking along the right lines.
Okay.
And luckily, you came prepared with some research that delves into those very questions.
Perfect. But before we jump into that, let's take a quick break. We'll be back in a flash to continue our deep dive into the world of curcumin and its potential for brain health. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, so before the break, we were just starting to uncover the amazing potential of curcumin for brain health.
But you're not just interested in one single compound, are you? You're wondering about the bigger picture of brain-boosting strategies.
You're right, and that's where exploring other compounds with similar benefits can be incredibly insightful.
Okay.
You brought along an excerpt from a 2024 dissertation
Yes.
focusing on EGCG,
EGC.
a powerful antioxidant found in green tea.
Okay, in green tea.
While it might seem like a sidestep from curcumin,
Okay.
it beautifully illustrates how antioxidants in general can contribute to brain health.
Okay, so it's not just about protecting brain cells directly, right? This research dove into the effects of EGCG on hypertensive rats, those dealing with high blood pressure.
Exactly, and this is a crucial point.
Okay.
The study found that EGCG actually improved blood vessel function in these rats.
Interesting.
This highlights how important healthy blood vessels are for a healthy brain.
Because our brains need a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients, right? Like well-maintained highways for all that essential cargo.
Exactly. By protecting blood vessels from damage,
Right.
antioxidants like EGCG can help ensure that the brain has the resources it needs to function optimally.
This has me thinking about synergy.
Okay.
Could combining curcumin's potential brain cell protection with something like EGCG's blood vessel benefits create an even more powerful approach?
That's a brilliant question, and one that researchers are actively exploring. The idea of combining different compounds to create a synergistic effect is a hot topic in neurodegenerative disease research.
It's like building a dream team of brain-boosting compounds.
Right.
And this leads us to our next source,
Okay.
a 2024 review on polyphenols from the Journal of Pre-Proof.
Okay.
Feels like we're zooming out to see the bigger picture now.
Exactly. Remember, both curcumin and EGCG belong to this large and diverse family of compounds, the polyphenols.
Okay.
This review highlights that they're not just showing promise for neurodegenerative diseases, but also in other areas, like cancer research.
Wow, cancer too. So these polyphenols are like the overachievers of the plant world.
In a way, yes.
Okay.
This review digs into how polyphenols interact with our cells on a molecular level.
Okay.
They can influence signaling pathways,
Right.
impact gene expression, even affect the gut microbiome,
The gut microbiome.
all of which play a role in overall health, including brain health.
That is fascinating. But with so many potential benefits and mechanisms at play, it feels like things could get really complex really quickly.
They absolutely can, which is why this next detail caught my eye.
Okay.
The review discusses how AI and machine learning are being used to design even better polyphenol-based drugs tailored for specific diseases.
Okay, now that is some next level stuff. So instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, we're moving towards personalized medicine, even for something as complex as the brain.
Precisely. AI and machine learning can analyze huge amounts of data to identify the most promising polyphenol combinations and dosages for specific conditions.
It's like having a team of super-powered researchers working around the clock to personalize our brain health strategies.
But as exciting as all that is, it's important to remember that research takes time.
Absolutely. Thorough research is paramount,
Right.
especially when we're talking about potential treatments that people might take for years, even decades.
Of course.
We need to understand both the short-term and long-term effects
Right.
and ensure both their safety and efficacy.
Safety first, always a good mantra. Now, this next review piqued my interest because it focuses on another polyphenol called fisetin,
Okay.
found in strawberries and other fruits.
Right?
What's the story with this one?
This is a great example of how polyphenols, while sharing some similarities, can have very distinct strengths.
Okay.
Fisetin has shown particular promise in cancer research.
Interesting.
There's even evidence suggesting it can enhance the effects of radiotherapy.
So even within this family of beneficial compounds, there's incredible diversity in how they work and what they might be best suited for.
Precisely. And that underscores the importance of personalized approaches to health.
Oh.
What works best for one person might not be the ideal solution for another.
Makes sense.
We need to consider individual needs and factors.
That makes perfect sense.
It's not about finding one magic pill, but rather about building a personalized toolkit of strategies for optimal health.
Exactly. And that's where our next source comes in.
Okay.
This excerpt from a 2024 supplement guide
Yes.
brings us back to practicality,
Okay.
emphasizing how important it is to consider supplements, especially as we age, to address specific nutritional gaps and support our bodies.
I was just about to say, this whole conversation has me thinking, like, what can I actually do to support my brain health right now?
Right.
And this guide seems to have some answers.
It does. It goes beyond general advice
Okay.
and even mentions specific genetic mutations that might benefit from certain supplements.
Wow, really?
It's all about tailoring our approach to our unique needs.
It's like taking control of our health destiny.
Yes.
Rather than just leaving it up to chance.
Exactly. And knowledge is power.
Yeah.
The more we understand about these complex systems,
Yes.
the better equipped we are to make informed choices about our well-being.
Speaking of knowledge, this next source seems completely unrelated at first glance. It's from Poultry Science.
Poultry science.
And it's about isolating antibodies from egg yolks.
I'm a little lost, I'll admit.
It does seem like a curveball, right?
It does, yeah.
But this protocol for IgY purification, as it's called,
Right.
highlights a crucial point about scientific discovery.
Okay.
Sometimes the most innovative solutions come from the most unexpected places.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
How does purifying antibodies from egg yolks tie into everything we've been discussing about brain health and curcumin?
It's about the bigger picture of scientific innovation.
Okay.
Just like researchers are finding ingenious ways to deliver curcumin more effectively,
Right.
they're also developing creative methods to produce and purify potentially therapeutic compounds.
So this egg yolk protocol, as strange as it sounds, is really a testament to the power of scientific creativity and the constant search for new solutions.
Exactly. It's a reminder that breakthroughs can come from anywhere if we keep an open mind and explore all possibilities.
I love that. Now, our final source for this deep dive is a 2023 study from the African Journal of Life Sciences
Okay.
on the effects of honey and garlic on nicotine-induced neurotoxicity in rats.
Interesting.
Now we've gone from high-tech nanoparticles to honey and garlic.
And that's the beauty of this exploration.
Right.
This study reminds us that even readily available substances like honey and garlic can have protective effects against brain damage.
So it's not just about cutting-edge science and, futuristic treatments.
Right.
It's also about recognizing the power of what's already in our kitchens.
Precisely. This study emphasizes the importance of a holistic approach to brain health, considering diet, lifestyle, and how these factors interact with everything else we're learning about.
This has been an incredible journey so far, from the spice rack to cutting-edge labs, but we're not done yet.
We still need to tie it all together.
Exactly. We've covered a lot of ground, and in part 3, we'll distill the key takeaways and leave you with some final thoughts to ponder.
We've been on quite a journey, haven't we? From like a simple spice to these high-tech labs.
We've been exploring the potential of curcumin for brain health and uncovering these fascinating connections along the way.
That has been quite a ride.
But with so much information swirling around, what are the key takeaways for someone, just wanting to support their brain health?
Well, it's easy to get lost in the details, so I'd say focusing on the big picture is crucial.
Yeah, okay.
Firstly, the research on curcumin and polyphenols for brain health, incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
But it's not about, overnight miracles.
No magic bullet then.
Not quite. We're talking about complex diseases with intricate mechanisms. Even if curcumin or other polyphenols do prove effective, they're likely going to be part of a broader strategy for long-term brain health.
So it's about lifestyle changes, diet, those everyday choices,
Right.
alongside any potential treatments.
Absolutely. And remember that study on honey and garlic?
Yes.
It highlights the power of what we consume and how even simple dietary choices can have a protective effect on the brain.
It's a good reminder that a healthy lifestyle isn't just about, trendy supplements or waiting for some groundbreaking treatment.
Right.
It's about these consistent everyday choices that we make.
Precisely. And while we've explored some really cutting-edge research today,
Sure.
it's important to remember that staying informed and being proactive about our health are crucial.
Which is exactly why we do these deep dives.
Exactly.
But let's be honest, keeping up with all the scientific discoveries can feel overwhelming at times.
I agree.
There's just so much information out there. Any advice for, navigating it all?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Don't get bogged down in trying to understand every single study.
Okay.
And instead, focus on the key findings,
Right.
the limitations that the researchers themselves acknowledge,
Yeah.
and the potential implications for, real life.
And probably a good dose of healthy skepticism when something sounds too good to be true.
Exactly. Be wary of those sensationalized headlines that are promising miracle cures. Stick to reliable sources like peer-reviewed research and reputable scientific organizations.
And of course, Always, always consult with a healthcare professional.
Always.
They can help make sense of the research
Absolutely.
and determine what's best for your individual needs and circumstances.
Personalized health is key.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Of course.
That's why understanding your own body and working with a healthcare provider is so important.
So as we synthesize this deep dive, it seems like there's a lot of promising research on curcumin and polyphenols,
Literally.
but it's an ongoing journey of discovery.
Precisely. We still need more research to determine optimal dosages, long-term effects,
Okay.
and how these compounds might interact with existing therapies.
So it's not just about popping a pill, it's about understanding the bigger picture.
Exactly.
But in the meantime, we can take charge of our brain health
Absolutely.
by making those smart lifestyle choices, staying informed about the new research,
Deep learning.
and working closely with those healthcare providers.
Couldn't agree more.
Wonderful. Well, on that note of cautious optimism,
And a whole lot of food for thought.
wait,
We'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of curcumin and its potential for brain health.
it's been a pleasure.